Hello and welcome to the Career Change Studio. This is the place to design and create a new working life so that you can live the way that you want and need in your next chapter. I'm Dana Stevens, certified career change coach, and I'm here to help you work out your next career move. I'm going to inspire you to think about this transition in brand new ways so that you can think differently about yourself and what's possible for you. You'll also learn how to build up your belief and self-confidence so that you can finally start taking action. This is about so much more than just getting another job. This is about changing the way you live your life for the better. Today, I want to talk to you about a subject I'm really passionate about. Let's talk about confidence. And one reason I spend so much time working on this with my clients is that a lack of confidence, a lack of self-belief can be one of the biggest blockers to making changes or moving forward in your career. And I've found that wherever I've worked, I've often had the pleasure of working alongside some really incredible women. And when they don't progress or they didn't progress how they wanted to, it wasn't because they weren't good enough. More often than not, it was because they just didn't have the self-confidence. So in my experience, both in the workplace and with my clients, it's hardly ever that a woman isn't competent enough. It's that she's just not confident enough. And honestly, it's one of the biggest tragedies. And I wish that people talked more about the importance of confidence and how to take control of your own confidence in the workplace. So in this episode, I'm going to be explaining why it's so important that you take control of your confidence right now. Doing so will not only help you to be more open about potential career options, it's also going to help you make the decision about what you want to do next in your career. Now, you might be thinking, like lots of people do, that when I get a new job or change careers, then I will feel more confident. But it is a mistake to think that the new job is just going to give you that confidence, right? You are the person that can give yourself more confidence. And look, that's great news, right? Because it means that you don't have to rely on others or on external factors before you start feeling better about yourself. It can be so helpful to learn how to do that, how to take control of your confidence sooner rather than later, because it will make your career change journey so much easier. When you can recognize yourself and build up your self-belief, you'll be so much more open to the opportunities, and that's going to mean you're more likely to start taking action to create meaningful change. And it will also help you to experience your next role in a much more enjoyable way. And the tools that you'll learn as you work on rebuilding your confidence are really going to help you to continue to grow and progress, even when you start on your new path, whatever that ends up being. So let's just take a minute to explore what confidence really is. The Oxford English Dictionary defines confidence as a feeling of self-assurance or trust in one's own abilities, qualities, or future success. And that confidence or trust is formed by a combination of how you think about yourself, what you believe, your experiences, your goals you might have accomplished, skills you might have mastered, and what you've learned from others or seen modelled to you. One of the things I've noticed over years of coaching people is that most people don't see confidence as something that they can control. They often think that other people just have it, or that their own lack of confidence is something that they can't do anything about. And this tends to happen when people are reliant on others for approval. When you're looking for other people to tell you that you're good enough, maybe you're seeking external validation from a manager or friends or family, this often goes hand in hand with low confidence. And lots of very successful people struggle with this. They might be very high achieving, but actually underneath it all, they're reliant on others for validation. So I came up with this analogy a few years ago to start to explain to my clients how your confidence is something you can take control of. I call it the confidence fire. And I want you to think about your confidence that's inside of you as a fire that glows within you. And it fuels pretty much everything: how you feel about yourself, how you show up, how you interact with others in the world. And if you are reliant on others for your confidence or self-esteem or self-worth, then that's the thing that's keeping your fire burning. Your boss giving you a praise for your latest project, that's them throwing a log in the fire. Your manager giving you positive feedback in your appraisal, another log on the fire. Your colleague telling you that you did a great job with that difficult client, another log on the fire. But the problem with this is that when those people leave or change their behavior or don't give you that validation or you move to a different organization, the fuel for your confidence fire disappears. And it does happen, right? You have a manager who gets promoted and your new manager isn't great at feedback. Or maybe you get promoted and when you're in a more senior role, you're not getting that same amount of feedback or support that you used to. Or maybe there's a reorganization at your company and you don't have that constructive input from others anymore. Or perhaps you go on maternity leave or take a career break and there's no one around to tell you anything about how you're doing. And if your confidence fire is built and only kept going by the logs of validation from others, your confidence will either be massively reduced without their input or it might even go out. This is why it's so important that you are the one in charge of your confidence fire. You want to be the one that is putting those logs on there regularly. When you work on a project, you want to be telling yourself that you worked really hard at it. You want to be reminding yourself of how well you handled a client, or congratulating yourself for staying calm if the client or colleague was being difficult. You want to be the one telling yourself that you learnt loads while you were upskilling in a new area. You want to be the one acknowledging yourself and celebrating yourself, and each time throwing a fresh log on your confidence fire. You need to be the one keeping it burning. You want to be in control of your own confidence. Then if someone does give you great feedback, then brilliant. You can add that to the fire, but it's an added bonus. It's not the only thing keeping it going. And look, we're human, right? So of course, we're going to welcome praise from others. But the key is that we don't want to be reliant on it to have confidence in ourselves. We don't want it to be the only fuel for the fire. If you can be the one keeping that fire burning, then if either the feedback from others isn't there or maybe you get some negative feedback, it's not going to put the fire out. So I'd love you to really think about this and maybe commit to either igniting your own confidence fire if you really feel like it's missing entirely, or taking back control and making sure that you are the one stoking that fire and keeping it burning. This will mean taking time regularly to acknowledge yourself. This isn't a passive thing. You have to be intentional about spending time and effort keeping that fire burning. It will be worth it. And just an extra tip, you don't want to only acknowledge yourself when you've achieved a certain marker of success. And by that, I mean, don't wait until you've hit a goal that other people see as successes, whether that's a job title or an amount of money or whatever. Set your own goals for what you personally view as success in your life now at this age and stage. And it's really important that you are acknowledging the process of whatever you're doing, because if you only acknowledge the outcome, you're missing out on a whole aspect of your effort and learning and growth and knowledge that you could be celebrating. So let me talk you through an example to explain what I mean. So let's say your boss has asked you to do a presentation at work. You might spend weeks on it. You might be in a state of constant anxiety about whether it's going to be well received. You might spend so much energy on it, and then you present it. And the person, maybe in the senior leadership that's in the room, says, no, actually, this isn't right. So many things have changed now since last month, so the solutions you're presenting just are not going to work. Now, if you were only reliant on external validation, that could be crushing. You would start questioning yourself, probably blaming yourself. Oh, this was me. I got this wrong. How could I have been so stupid? Why didn't I know things had changed? I'm rubbish at my job. They must all think I'm stupid. The internal narrative, a negative internal narrative, would probably take over. And what happens when our confidence is low is that we automatically or very quickly tend to assume that the fault is ours. And if you haven't been acknowledging your progress along the way, your decision about whether this presentation is a success or a failure is solely reliant on the output or how it is received. But let's say you're not reliant on external validation. Your experience might be different. What if over the weeks that you're preparing the presentation, you might be noticing along the way how you've been using your great relationships that you've built up at work to find the information that you need. You might be celebrating that. Then you can acknowledge yourself that you found maybe a clear way to communicate the problem and the solution that you're trying to resolve. You might notice that you've created a great narrative in your presentation, some good storytelling. You might acknowledge how far your skills have come since maybe 2 years ago when you used to hate doing PowerPoint, for an example. Then let's say in the meeting or before the meeting, you might be feeling really, really nervous, but you can manage to talk yourself round to a place where you feel okay about presenting to a room full of people, maybe senior people. And you can celebrate yourself for that, overcoming that obstacle, maybe when you wouldn't have done a couple of years ago. Then when that senior leader in the room drops the bombshell that actually the goalposts on the project have changed, have moved, and the solutions you've come up with aren't right and maybe won't work now, you're probably much less likely to start blaming yourself and telling yourself that you've got it all wrong, because you will have been acknowledging yourself and building up your confidence along the way. You're going to know that you put in lots of time and effort, that you learnt things along the way, that you put in all the right information that was originally asked for, and that basically, if something's changed, that's about the project and it's not about you. You won't immediately assume that it's all your fault, that you've got something wrong. Because, like I said, this is a key sign of low confidence when we blame ourselves straight away. Instead, you can choose to feel proud of the work that you've put into the presentation. You can still feel grateful that you got to present to the senior leadership team. You might be feeling really good about how your presentation skills were and how they're getting better all the time. And when you're in this frame of mind, you'll be able to see it for what it is, that the goalposts are being changed on the project, and this is just something that happens at work, most workplaces, quite a lot. Things change, priorities change, decisions change, and we have to and can adapt and regroup and go again. Hopefully you can see that in the first version, if you're reliant on other people's feedback or an output, a particular outcome to prove how good or worthy you are, it rarely goes that way. But if you take control of your confidence on an ongoing basis, you can stay in a place of self-belief all along the process and be the one in control of your own confidence fire. So let's come all the way back to the beginning and why this is something to think about and work on now. Why we don't wait until we just get that new job to expect that feeling of confidence to just miraculously appear. The reality is that if you can start practicing this now, being in control of your own confidence, feeding your confidence fire, this will help you start feeling better about yourself now. This will build up your self-belief, your self-assurance. You'll start believing more in your capabilities. You'll believe more in your future success. This is what confidence is about. And this is going to leave you more open to the various options that you could pursue next. And you are going to pursue and explore more if you're feeling more confident about yourself. And when you explore more options and let yourself explore different things that are out there, you've got a much better chance of choosing the right thing that is the best fit for you. So when I help my clients with their own career change coaching, I always make sure that we work on their self-belief and confidence before we start looking at different career paths and options, because it just 100% makes the process much easier for you. Now, obviously, in personal coaching, we can go so much deeper and work on what has dented your confidence or maybe why you've never felt confident. And I teach lots of tools that you can use to start building up your own confidence, to be able to be that person that's throwing the logs on your own fire, right? Because being in charge of your own confidence is going to help you become that person that creates change in their own life. It is possible for you. I know because I've done it with myself. I do it with my clients all the time. Tackling your confidence now, taking back control of it, is going to help you. Increased confidence isn't just something that you find after you change careers. It really can be what gets you there. So I'm going to leave you with that thought this week, and I'll see you again next Tuesday. Bye for now. And if you want to start making changes to your working life, come and talk to me. you can book a free consultation with me where we'll talk about your personal situation, what's really holding you back, and what you can do differently to start making changes. I'll let you know what type of career change coaching is going to help you, and you can ask me any questions about your personal situation or about my proven process, the Life First Career Method, a method that helps people like you change your career so that you can change your life. Just visit my website, danastevens.com. That's DANASTEVENS.com, and click on the link to book a consultation. Or you can find the link in the show notes. If you've enjoyed this podcast, make sure you get your weekly fix of inspiration and career change guidance by clicking follow or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And if you'd like to rate and review the podcast, that would really help me get this in front of people who also might be feeling stuck and lost. So I'd really appreciate your help. And if you know anyone, friends, family, even colleagues, who might be thinking about changing careers, please do share this podcast with them. You might just be the person that helps them change their lives for the better.